I've got 1 lemon, and I'm going to show you how to make this delicious lemon sheet cake that's so easy. All it takes is 1 lemon and probably things you already have in your fridge and pantry. It's so good and so easy to make. So first you'll want to preheat your oven to 375 degrees Fahrenheit. And now in a large bowl, let's make this cake. I'm going to start with 1 cup of sugar. Here I'm going to add a stick of melted butter, and I just melted that in the microwave. I'm also going to add a ½ cup of water. Here I'm going to crack in 1 large egg. A ½ teaspoon of vanilla extract, and the zest of this large lemon. I'm just going to put all of the zest in the cake. I'm not going to save any for the icing. Okay, here I'm going to just eyeball a ¼ cup of sour cream. And now I'm just going to squeeze half of this large lemon into the cake. Maybe like 3 tablespoons to a ¼ cup works for this. Now you'll want to mix and combine the wet ingredients. Here I'm going to add 1 cup of all-purpose flour and a ½ teaspoon of baking soda. Not baking powder, baking soda. And I'm doing this for myself because when I did this, I wanted to remember in the voiceover to say baking soda. Okay, so just put that in there, and I don't know why I didn't add the salt, but yeah, you'll want to add a ½ teaspoon of salt into this. Now just give everything a mix. And this is going to make the cake. It smells great already. So I've oiled and added all-purpose flour to a sheet pan, and I'm just going to add in all of this cake batter. This sheet pan is like a 9 by 13. So this is a ¼ sheet pan that I'm working with. And I'm just going to do my best to spread that out evenly. By the way, comment down below if you love anything lemon. I love lemon sheet cake, lemon cake, cupcakes, lemon loaf, and I certainly love anything with lemon in it that's savory. Okay, so give it a couple of taps, and this is going into the oven, and it is going to bake at 375 degrees Fahrenheit for about 20 minutes, or until it's done. So this was right at 20 minutes. You want to check it with a toothpick, but I know it's ready. And my kitchen smells amazing. So for the icing, it's very simple. I'm using around 2½ cups of confectioner sugar, 1½ tablespoons of heavy cream with a ½ teaspoon of vanilla extract. You put that in. I also like to add a pinch of salt. I didn't show that, but a pinch of salt. And I'm just going to add the rest of the lemon juice. I ended up using like maybe 5 tablespoons in this. That's all I could squeeze out of these lemons because I'm just using 1 lemon for this. And just squeeze and give it a mix until you get icing like this. And it is kind of thick. If you want to thin it out with a little whole milk or water, that also works. And just pour it right over the warm sheet cake. Then you'll want to let it set until the cake is cooled and that icing is just kind of crackly and stiff. It's the best. And I'm going to be sure to scrape everything out of the bowl to cover everything. And then you let it set. And when it's set, if you want to let it set, you can serve. I let this set for like 30 minutes to 45 minutes. It probably could have set longer. And then you slice into it. And it's delicious. And it's easy. And I'm making it all spring and summer long. So let me show you another easy lemon recipe. Today, I'm going to show you an easy 3-ingredient lemon loaf. This is going to be good. Okay, 3-ingredient lemon loaf. So I'm starting with sour cream or Greek yogurt. I use those interchangeably in this recipe. Here is a 15.25 ounce box of yellow cake mix and 1 large lemon. Now essentially you could just skip the lemon and go for a box of lemon cake mix if you can find it, but this is what I had, and with these 3 ingredients I'm just going to make an easy lemon loaf. Here in my large bowl I'm going to empty out or put the cake mix in, the dry cake mix. And like I stated earlier, you could solve the lemon problem if you don't have lemon, and if you can find yourself some lemon boxed cake mix, well then it becomes a 2 ingredient loaf. I'm going to break that up a little bit. Before I add the wet, I am going to get some lemon zest. I'm going to save some lemon zest for the icing. And you don't have to ice this to make it, you know, the 3 ingredient, but the extra is the icing that I'm going to make for this loaf. But just with these 3 ingredients gives you a delicious lemon loaf. You don't have to do the icing, that is optional. Okay, lemon zest going in. I'm not even going to add the juice into this because the lemon zest is so fragrant, it'll do what it needs to do. Oh, there goes my oven. Make sure you preheat your oven. I'm preheating to 350 degrees Fahrenheit. Okay. Now, give that a mix. Okay. Now going in with, actually, yeah, this is sour cream. I couldn't remember if I put Greek yogurt or sour cream, but either one works wonderfully. Now just combine this well. Okay, now I'm going to place this, put the entire batter or loaf mix into an 8, this is like 8 by 4.5, or 8 by 5, close to 8 by 5 loaf pan. Now if you're doing this in like the 9-inch loaf pan, then the loaf will not be as tall, but that's okay, and the cook time will vary slightly. I want to make sure, this is very sticky, so you want to make sure you work with like your little silicone spatula. There we go. You'll want to just even this out into your loaf pan. Try not to move too much of the parchment paper. And I do like to line my loaf pan with parchment paper, or you can do kind of like the butter flour or oil flour coating to your loaf pan. Okay, nice. Now it's going into my preheated oven. Okay, so that is going to bake in a preheated oven at 350 degrees Fahrenheit until it's done in the center. Okay, so my lemon loaf is done, and there it is. So let it cool, remove it from the loaf pan, and you have a lemon loaf. I'm gonna go the extra step and make an icing for the top. Here I have 1 cup of confectioner sugar or powdered sugar, and whatever zest that I can get from whatever's left over on the lemon, that's going in. And I'll start with a tablespoon of the fresh lemon juice from this large lemon. Yeah, this will be enough to make the icing very fragrant and reassure that this has lemony flavor. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Okay, make sure all that goes in. Now I'm gonna cut the lemon, and I'm going to start with a tablespoon of lemon juice, fresh squeezed lemon juice. Try not to get seeds in it. Yep, there's a seed. Now just give that a mix. And this is going to be the icing. Start with a tablespoon and work your way up. Eventually, this is what you're looking for. You thin it out, but it's still thick. So here I have my loaf, and I'm going to carefully remove it from my pan. Yay, just like that. And then that's that. I'm going to carefully remove all the parchment paper. It could cool a little bit, and you'll notice it kind of is concave. That's because I removed it from the oven too soon. So now you'll want to drizzle the icing on top while it's still warm. Spread it around and then let it set. I hope you give this recipe a try. I hope you like it. And thanks for watching.